Hello and welcome to your weekly juice. Tips and advice on how to boost your confidence, conquer self-doubt, and keep you pumped all week. I'm Louisa Jewell, author of Wire Your Brain for Confidence, The Science of Conquering Self-Doubt. And I'm finally back from Burning Man. I took a couple of weeks off. Wow, it took me so long to recuperate. It is so hot and so dusty on the playa. And you get very, very little sleep. So there's so much to do at Burning Man. If you're not familiar with it, it's a week-long experience where 70,000 people come together as a community and experience Burning Man together in the middle of a Nevada desert. So it is really incredible. It's very hard to explain. But today I want to talk to you about one of the most profound experiences that I had at Burning Man. Now, the whole idea of Burning Man is, and they really do burn the effigy of a man, a very, very large man, like the size of a building. He actually sits on top of a building. And the whole idea is that you go to Burning Man, and the symbolism of burning the man is that you're letting something go. You're saying goodbye to a resentment, a grief, something you've been holding on to that is holding you back, maybe a past relationship. So before I left for Burning Man, I signed my divorce papers on the Thursday night, and I was determined that I was going to go to Burning Man and I was going to let everything go as far as my divorce went. And what they do at Burning Man is they also build a temple. And the temple's about the size of a church. And it's all made of wood, and the entire week, thousands of people come into the temple and they sit in quiet contemplation. And there are pictures and notes and trinkets and gifts and shrines that have been created, messages of people who were grieving, who really wanted to let something go and leave it in the temple so that they could be free of whatever this burden was for them. So sitting in the temple was really profound. People were quite quiet. People who were sitting around me were crying, sobbing. I really realized all these people at Burning Man seemed to be doing just fine, and yet thousands of people that came to the temple, everybody had something in their heart that they were letting go of, that they were deciding they were going to leave behind. And everybody had their own suffering. There was a woman who was there who was sitting just kind of behind me. She appeared to be about 28 or 29, and she was really struggling. I could tell that she was really struggling and sobbing and crying, and she was alone. And I don't know why, but I felt compelled to go to her. You know, sometimes we stop ourselves from helping people that we think need help if they're strangers, because we think, oh, we don't want to interfere. But I really felt compelled to go to her. And so I went to her and I just put my hand softly on her shoulder and I said, do you need anything? Do you need help? And she said, yes, I could really use a hug. And so I hugged her dearly, and we cried and cried. She just let it go, and she cried, and her tears made me cry. And we were just two strangers helping each other. And when she stopped crying, I asked her, what are the tears about? And she said, well, my father died 3 weeks ago. And they were very close, and he died of ALS at the age of 60, which was very sad. And my father-in-law died in a similar way where, you know, ALS is terrible because it can really debilitate somebody and ruin their life. And for years, they kind of sit in this vegetative state. And it's terrible to watch a loved one go through that. It's terrible to watch anybody go through that. And so because I had that experience, I felt that I was able to help her more in that moment. And we talked a lot about, what it was like and how to let it go. And I felt, she told me that she had this wonderful relationship with her father, and I never had a good relationship with my father. And I told her what a gift it was to have a beautiful relationship with your father, even if it was cut short. So I asked her if her father sent her any signs that he was still with her. And she said, yes, he sent me you. So I was so, I guess, filled with joy in that moment that I could be a source of comfort for somebody at a really, really bad time. And so when she said that, I said, okay, I have something for you. And I ran into my backpack, and I had brought these to Burning Man, and what they are is they're little heartstones, and this is a rose quartz. And I told her to keep this somewhere in her purse or somewhere where she would run into it often, and that every time she comes across it, to hold it and to know that her father is with her in that moment. And she cried, and she said it was the best gift she ever received. And I felt, again, I guess it just validated and reinforced for me the work I do in terms of helping people improve their well-being and reduce their suffering. And it just really made me realize that people are suffering more than we think, and how it's so needed in the world to help people who are suffering. I gave her a big hug when we were done, when I felt she was good, and she said, I'm good, and we parted ways, and I never saw her again, and I don't think I ever will see her again. But it was really beautiful that two strangers could help each other. And there were people, as I was letting go, my friend Amelia was there to help me get through my grief in the temple. And I think that if we could all take some time throughout our days, it appears that everybody's got their stuff together, but really we all have something that we're grieving about. We all have something that we could sit and have a good cry about. I certainly had a good cry in the temple and let a lot of stuff go. And I had a lot of really interesting aha moments that I'll share with you in other videos. But I think if we could all take a moment to smile at everyone we encounter throughout our day, strangers or not so much strangers, or if we could give a compliment or a kind word, or commit a kind act or a gesture of kindness, I think it would go a long way to changing our world. We shouldn't be so afraid that just because someone is a stranger that we can't show them some kind of love or friendship. And that's certainly one of the things that I took away from Burning Man, that you bring a community of people who are committed to giving in that way, giving of themselves, giving of their heart, or just giving in any way that they can, how it can really change people and change your experience and change the way you live. So I hope that you will consider that the next time you're out. It certainly had a profound effect on me. I feel much more connected to everybody and everyone. Now, on the Sunday of Burning Man, they actually burn the temple. So every note, every picture, everything that was left there to be left behind is burned. And there's about 50,000 people left on Sunday when the temple burns. And you cannot even hear a pin drop as 50,000 people sit in silence as they watch the temple burn, as they watch everybody's burdens and grievances fly away and become ash. It is such a beautiful moment and a wonderful experience. So I hope that you enjoyed this weekly juice. I hope that you will reach out to others and share your kindness and love. I know it certainly changed me. I will be back next week with my weekly juice, and in the meantime, go kick some butt. All right, so good to see you, everyone. Bye for now.